the HAWE Tech Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to today's HAWE Tech Podcast. My name is Ralph, and I'm Senior Specialist for Sales Enablement at HAWE. Today's topic is, do you know what the different motor voltages on hydraulic power units mean? Since I don't, I've invited Doğan, who is the Product Manager for our power units. So welcome, Doğan, and I hope you can answer this question for us.
I will try my best. Thank you for the invitation, Ralph. I'm also happy to be here. And also from my side, welcome to the listeners.
Great. Always nice to have you. Now, as you and maybe some of our podcast listeners know, I used to live and work in the United States for many years. And of course, I noticed that the plugs on the electrical outlets are quite different in America than they are in Germany and Europe. I mean, even within Europe, we have different ones. Now, we also have the different voltage that is supplied, 110 instead of the 230 volts that we have in Europe. So does that mean with our power packs, how does that apply to our power packs? Because, I mean, they are supplied with power.
Yeah, that's right. The fact that we have a motor inside means that the power packs needs a right or power voltage to do that what they should to do.
Okay. So does that mean regardless of country in which the power pack is used, HAWE has power packs with the right motor voltage available?
Yeah, that's right. In the first step, it is very important for us and also for our customer to know where, in which country the power packs will be used. And yeah, of course, we, as you can imagine, there are countless supply voltages worldwide, and we did the selection of our motors so that we can achieve most of these supply voltages with our power packs.
Wow. So if I hear it correctly, that means we have a warehouse full of motors with all types of voltages lying around.
Yeah, fortunately, the motors can be used flexible thanks to their voltage tolerance. For example, in the 50 Hertz range, we have a tolerance of plus minus 10%. With 60 Hertz, we have a tolerance plus minus 5%. For example, let's take a 400 volt 50 Hertz motor. In Germany, in the industry, the supply voltage is 400 volt 50 Hertz, so means I can use this motor without any restrictions in Germany.
Right.
And thanks to the tolerance of plus minus 10%, I can also use this motor without any restrictions in Hong Kong, where the supply voltage is 380 volts 50 Hertz, or even in Great Britain, in England, where the supply voltage is 450 volt 50 Hertz.
Wow. Well, that's good to know. And without any restrictions at 60 Hertz too, or is that different?
Yeah, with our 50 Hertz motors, or in general with 50 Hertz motors, you don't have any restrictions by using them in 60 Hertz frequency.
Okay.
But you have to ensure that the supply voltage is given. Let's stay with the example 400 volt 50 Hertz motor, and that would be then 460 volts at 60 Hertz. So the user has to ensure that the supply voltage has to be 460 volts in this case to use the power pack with full performance.
Okay, so what happens if the customer can't provide the 460 volts? Will the power pack then not work?
Yeah, also the power pack will work, but with less pressure. With 400 volt at 60 Hertz, the power pack would achieve 30% less pressure. And if the supply voltage is lower than 400 volts, it is better to choose a suitable motor for this supply voltage.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about one-phase motors? And I'm asking because you especially mentioned the three-phase motors here. Is there a difference in one-phase motors?
Yeah, good that you mentioned that. Yeah, there is a difference in case of one-phase AC motors. The fact is so that they are designed for example, 50 hertz and can't be used at 60 hertz.
Oh.
And also vice versa. The motors then have to be or are wound according to the mains frequency.
Okay. Are there any other factors that need to be considered by the customer when using a single-phase motor?
Yes, there is. When using a single-phase AC motor, it is important to select the right operating capacitor to achieve the full performance. And what is also important to know is that the fact that single-phase motors can't be run against load. And for that issue, for example, we at HAWE have a special connection block to which enables pressureless starting of the single-phase motors.
That's a very good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, as I understand it, HAWE has different motors with different motor voltages in these units, correct?
Correct, yeah. As I said, we have certain selections of the motor voltages that can be operated in the most countries worldwide without any performance restrictions. And yeah, of course, we help out our customers to select the right motor with the right voltage.
Quite impressive. That sounds really good. I want to thank you for this really detailed information. Let me go ahead and summarize this for our audience. So our power packs can be operated with different supply voltages in different countries. However, it is important to choose the right motor with the right voltage and frequency. If you want to utilize the full power of the power pack, and we assume that our customers do, you should always ensure that the motor is supplied with the required mains voltage.
Correct.
Now, there are differences in the selection of one-phase and three-phase motors that always have to be taken into account. With a three-phase motor, we can operate at 50 and 60 hertz, and a suitable operating capacitor must be used for one-phase motors. Did I get it correctly?
Yeah, thank you for summarizing.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. I thank you for coming today and giving this detailed information, and I thank you for listening again. If you have any suggestions for future podcasts, please send us an email to podcast@hawe.de. We'd love to hear from you, and for today, I'd like to thank you and goodbye.
Thank you also from my side, and goodbye. See you next time.